All right, we'll get into some rapid fire questions, and
Okay,
then
great.
we'll
Yeah,
do some revealing of the wine.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so when you were doing harvest last year with your family and everything, was
Yeah.
there like a favorite artist that everybody wanted to hear during harvest?
Well, let's just say that. So as I listen to music, I know it's rapid fire, but I start my day with classical music, and then I usually get into country in the middle of the day. And I love Chris Stapleton. I
Okay.
love Kenny Chesney.
Okay.
So when you're out on the farm, that is really the music. But inevitably, it finishes with little Foo Fighters, some Pearl Jam. But first thing in the morning, my favorite thing is it's either classical music, but if you're at the Joy,
Right.
it's John Coltrane. And it's so great to walk around in the morning when the fog is sitting around listening to Coltrane through the music and the speakers.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So it wasn't a straight answer, but it was.
No, that's good.
It's what happened.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite indulgent food?
Oh my God. Yes.
It's so hard to pick one.
It is. Yeah. I love bubbles, and bubbles go great with French fries. But French fries is probably not my indulgent food, but I would say, I don't know, if you have a little caviar or some creme fraiche
Right.
and some bubbles, that's very hard to beat.
That would be.
It's a little indulgent.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Favorite indulgent
Yeah,
food.
there it is.
Yes. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be?
Joy.
Okay.
I believe joy is a superpower.
Right.
I believe that as a healing power. We didn't talk about the Children's Cancer Association, but I've been part of it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Chaired it for 7, and I believe joy is a superpower.
I would agree. As you get more and more like agriculture and like what, are you taking notes out in the field? And if you are taking notes, are they handwritten or are they digital?
Oh, they're both. They're all handwritten notes primarily, and then they get transferred digitally. However, there's I have a new tablet called a Remarkable.
Yeah.
That's really fun, and I've been trying to take all of my notes on there. In fact, Andrew has one as well. So when we're doing our blending and tasting notes, we're writing on Remarkables, which is super fun because then you can go straight into a digital file.
Right.
And we're trying to do all of them that way. But sometimes if it's pouring down rain and you're trying to take notes, on a digital tablet in the middle of a vineyard,
right,
you either have to recall it and do it back in the truck, or sometimes it's easier just to scribble them down.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Favorite superhero?
Iron Man.
Oh,
love Iron Man.
There you go.
Yeah.
And what's the last book that you read?
Oh, Storyteller by Dave Grohl.
Of course.
I mean, I love it. But I will tell you this. I just am starting a book right now that I'm absolutely fascinated by. It's called Breath by a guy named Nestor. And they talk about the lost art of breathing.
Oh, yeah.
And it talks about whether you nasal breathing or mouth breathing,
right, and
the health things that come across that. And while nasal breathing is so incredibly healthy for you, and mouth breathing really creates disease.
Right.
And I'm fascinated by it. So that's one I'm reading right now. But yeah, Storyteller by Dave Grohl. If you haven't read it, it's awesome. The audiobook, hearing him tell the words is really spectacular as well.
I've done both.
Yeah.
I've done both.
Super fun.
Yes. And breath work in general, it is, if you talk about joy and healing, I mean, if you start studying breath work, there's so much that can happen.
Absolutely.
And that's quite a little rabbit hole that you can dive into.
No question.
Yes.
Fascinating.